Our top story on Global Mirror tonight. And a setback for Donald Trump amid his showdown with Europe over the Russia-Ukraine war. The United Nations rejected his proposal for peace with a 93-18 vote. On the third anniversary of the war, United States failed to get the UNGA approval for not mentioning Moscow's aggression as the reason for the violence. But the UNGA did approve the Ukrainian resolution, demanding Russia immediately withdraw from Ukraine. In the 193-member assembly, 65 members abstained. India continued with its position of abstinence. In fact, most of the West Asian nations and countries like Brazil and China abstained as well. Essentially, it was a diplomatic battle between America and Europe. While the UN rejection is not legally binding, it does send out a message. It not only displays European unity on the war, but it is also reflective of global opinion. However, EU unity isn't the only message that came out of the United Nations yesterday. For the first time since the war began 3 years back, US and Russia were on the same page. Both countries voted against the Ukrainian resolution. Interestingly, the setback for Trump comes as he met with French President Emmanuel Macron for the G7 summit in Washington, D.C.
Et je pense que le président a eu lui-même tout à l'heure et encore aujourd'hui, à l'instant, des mots très clairs. Il veut la paix. Nous voulons la paix, on est totalement d'accord. Nous voulons un deal rapide, mais pas un accord qui soit fragile. Et le fait qu'il y ait des Européens qui soient prêts à s'engager pour apporter leur réponse à ces garanties de sécurité, et qu'il y ait une clarté maintenant du message américain sur le fait que les États-Unis d'Amérique, comme alliés, étaient prêts à apporter justement un soutien, une solidarité à cette approche est pour moi un tournant. Et c'était un des acquis de ce déplacement et de nos discussions.
Remember, United States has been pushing for Ukraine to sign the peace deal, with Trump saying that he will be meeting with President Volodymyr Zelensky soon.
I will be meeting with President Zelensky. In fact, he may come in this week or next week to sign the agreement, and which would be nice. I'd love to meet him. Would meet at the Oval Office. So the agreement's being worked on now. They're very close to a final deal. It'll be a deal with rare earths and various other things, and he would like to come, as I understand it, here to sign it, and that would be great with me. I think they then have to get it approved by their council or whoever might approve it, but I'm sure that will happen.
Now, even though Donald Trump has perpetually ignored Europe in the Riyadh talks with Russia recently, Macron was quick to fact-check the American president over funds to Ukraine. Take a look.
Will France support the U.S. being compensated?
I support the idea to have Ukraine first being compensated, because they are the ones to lose a lot of their fellow citizens and being destroyed by these attacks. Second, all of those who paid for could be compensated, but not by Ukraine, by Russia, because they were the one to aggress.
Again, just so you understand, Europe is loaning the money to Ukraine. They get their money back.
No, in fact, to be frank, we paid 60% of the total effort, and it was through, like the US, loans, guarantee, grants, and we provided real money, to be clear. We have 230 billion frozen assets in Europe, Russian assets, but this is not as a collateral of a loan, because this is not our belonging. So they are frozen. If at the end of the day in the negotiation we will have with Russia, they're ready to give it to us, super. It will be loan at the end of the day, and Russia would have paid for that.
If you believe that, it's okay with me.
Mr. President,
but they get their money back, we don't, and now we do.
Well, Trump countering that with a, if you believe that, it's your choice. Well, the contrasting proposals, remember, reflect the tensions that prevail in the transatlantic alliance with Europe over the Trump administration's close and continuous engagement with Moscow. The questions that still await answers are: when will the war end? Will Ukraine bow to Trump's pressure of giving away its mineral wealth? Can Russia and Ukraine afford a fourth year of war? And will the world act towards peace instead of just talking about it? To talk more on this entire evolving and changing nature of the Russia-Ukraine war, on Global Mirror, I'm joined